Every episode for the first 70, you would always say, "Oh, that's hurtful," and I'd be like, "All right, my work is done." So there's current events at the house. We had a little bit of a body count. As you know, a couple weeks ago, Chris found a mouse in our house.
Who are you, Dr. Seuss?
She did. She could not. She was eating breakfast. I forget what she was having, though. But there was ham in there. Anyhow, I used our old mouse traps. But the strategy that we were having is apparently that we were feeding mice. We weren't trapping mice. So what would happen is the trap would be snapped with no mouse in it.
They were learning.
And then they're like AI mice. Fuck, we're dead. Anyhow, but then they would come back and eat all the shit, all the peanut butter out of there. So then I got all these sticky traps laying around.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? Fuck it. I went on the internet, heard of it, and I saw that they have a better mouse trap. Isn't that every inventor's dream?
Does the marble go all the way down and then trip it and it kind of shakes?
It does. Mouse trap. I love that game growing up, man.
No one ever played it. You just set it up and trip it.
Ace had one. I think it's called Skinner, which to me is...
They were Leonard Skinner fans.
No, I thought it was like Skinner, like it would psychologically do it, like the Skinner's box. Remember him? He was like a psychiatrist.
B.J. Skinner, the psychologist.
Yeah. Okay. It was called a box. It was Skinner's box. And didn't he put people in it, or there was something in that box?
We'll never know.
I'm living in a box. Was that a song called I'm Living in a Cardboard Box? That sounds awful. Remember, it was like early 80s, like when music went to hell. I'm living in a box. I'm living in a cardboard box.
That does sound familiar. But
I don't think it's cardboard. It's got to be like a Skinner's box or something. There it is. The J.T. Eaton. What did I say? Skinners? So anyway, I bought these. They're called J.T. Eaton Jaws 2-pack. Well, I went in there and I bought 4. It's a better mousetrap. So anyhow, here's what I did. And this is... I got.
Are you feeling guilty?
I got to calm down. No, I'm amped up. I want more. I feel like a serial killer. So I set the mouse traps. I set a couple upstairs, a couple downstairs. The downstairs one, the first crime scene. And I put it 6 inches from the sticky trap that's been sitting there and not getting anything. And I put it perpendicular to the wall. So that means like not dicular. So it's like at a 90 degree from the wall. So I could tell which way the mouse is coming from. You know what I mean? Emotionally and physically. So it had to have walked right past because of where it got caught sideways, right? So he was on the stage right.
You really put a lot of thought
stage right.
into
this mouse was coming from the right, coming from stage right. But that means that he walked right past that fucking sticky trap. And then, wham, got him. Dead. Put him on the hood of my car, drove around town for a little bit. Nobody could tell. But it was like deer season. Jim 1, mouse 0. So then I'm like, okay, this is interesting. So I started doing the trap sideways, see if that would help. In my furnace room, I had a sticky trap, and then I put it right next to the sticky trap. Come down one morning, it looks like, Charles Manson was there. The trap is flipped over. It caught a mouse, and it flipped the mouse over onto the sticky trap.
Yeah.
Okay? Which is like, oh, okay, no big deal. I'll just throw it all away together. I go upstairs, and I squeeze open the trap. This thing's head was crushed. I squeeze open the trap, the J.T. Eaton Jaws trap. So that let go of the mouse, but the mouse was still stuck to the sticky trap. And the mouse was alive.
Oh.
So it's like, bah! It was the most trippy thing ever.
Did you drop it?
What do you mean I drop it? No, I put it in the garbage. And I have the European-style garbage can because it helps our immune system. That's what I'm going with anyway. So it starts moving. I kind of go, whoa! I mean, I had a physical utterance. And of course, I go, Chris, get down here. She's completely freaked out by the whole thing. So sticky traps are shit. But here's the question. What if I didn't have a sticky trap there and I just picked that thing up? Terry?
It would have scared the hell out of you.
I know.
And you would have dropped it.
Something would have happened.
Screamed like a little girl.
Probably. But you remember the one time I was trying to, when Charlie was here and there was a thing running around. No, these are field mice. This is a mouse. This is not like a vole. I think mice are pretty resilient because I crushed this one's head. You ever notice I talk the entire time and you kind of just fill in? I want you to talk more. I want you to emote. The people want to hear you.
Good segue into the podcast. I got you on a podcast which is all about talking. Well, then why the hell are you on a podcast if you don't want to talk? That just doesn't make sense to me.
I'm about equality. In this world where diversity, equity, and inclusion is coming to a screaming halt, I want to make sure you feel included on your own podcast, Mark. I mean,
it's our podcast.
It's a combination. It's not diversity because we both check the same box on the demographic form as white. I don't know if you could tell by hearing this, but we are both white men. I identify as male. What about you?
Why put a question?
I've never asked you if you identify as a man. So
why would you have to ask that there?
Because what if you didn't? And then I would make an assumption and I'd feel bad that I guessed wrong.
Even asking that.
I've never seen you golf. So I figure that was probably my first clue.
What tees do I golf off?
Well, that's the thing, is I always to drive back. So Mark, quit fucking around. You're hitting from the fucking whites with me, because we're white. We're not. Oh. But maybe it's because you're old. Maybe it's because you don't identify the same as I. I don't know. Mark, I like either way, buddy. So what?
No one has questions about me.
Oh, really?
Because I'm that manly.
Your hearing is shot because you don't hear the people whispering behind you. What was that? Is he fooling? He's not fooling.
What was that?
He's not fooling anybody. Is his name Tom? Tom Foolery? Because, I don't know, my mic is doing silly things.
As we alluded to, we're doing a podcast.
Oh.
And this is the Ascertainers.
Welcome to the Ascertainers, powered by Newt's, Apple Valley's premier burger destination. The Ascertainers are Mark and Jim. That's Mark.
Hello, everyone.
I'm Jim. I thought we needed to punch up the intro a little bit and really feature our sponsor, because I listen to other podcasts, There are other ones I've just learned. And some of them play like 5 minutes before they get into what they're going to talk about. They just run through their sponsors. And I know that we spend a lot of time talking about Newts, but I wanted to get it right in there, because in case someone listens and turns it off right away, they've already gotten Newted.
Which is great.
Right in the Newt.
If you're listening to other ones that have sponsors, of course they have a long lead-in, but we have a sponsor.
I don't own a gun, let alone many. So I do own a gun, robbers, bad guys, but we are not only sponsored by Newts, but we also have some business shout-outs. But I'm not sure, what do we think about Newts? Is Newts just good or is Newts great?
Tonight, it was just a wonderful time at Newt.
Yes. Let's stay on Newts for a little bit. We saw so many people that we like, and some that I'm just kidding. We saw like a ton. We saw our buddy Kent. I don't think he listens, but turns out he's one of your neighbors, and every time I see Kent, I light up. I think he's just a great guy to hang out with.
Great talk with Kent.
And then we saw, in order, Todd and Sheila came.
They did.
And Todd hung out with us for a little bit, and Kent and Todd talked horses. It's like everything's all connected.
Kind of flowed together tonight.
Yes, and then they went and got a booth, and then Jeff and Billy showed up and sat by us. They're ripping some pull tabs and winning. We won. We broke even at pull tabs. So that's kind of like winning.
For us, that's winning.
I know. But we gave it a shot, though. We reinvested, and it didn't pay off. So I'd rather have done that than to kept $10 more or whatever. But then Bill and Jeff's wife showed up, and I got her name wrong. So I was supposed to shout out Kayla and Bob, even though I got Bill's name right, they wanted to be referred to as Kayla and Bob, and then Jeff and Amy. Amy's a longtime listener, and it was good. It was fun. It was friendly.
Corey came out and talked to us.
Yes, and we presented Corey and Sarah with their Ascertainers T-shirts. So the shirts are in. I'm wearing one right now.
And it looks great on you.
I'll tell you, is it slimming?
It brings out your eyes.
I like how I put stripes on mine, vertical stripes on mine, and not any of the others. So it looks kind of like a drink cup from a movie theater, but it's got our name on it too. So slimming, that's where it's at.
You'll see them around
T-shirts?
countrywide. The T-shirts, yeah, they're going to become so hot.
They'll be around. Like if you go to like a car wash where like people volunteer to wash your car, they'll probably be using a lot of those to dry your car and stuff like that. But I don't think I spent enough time with the Carla situation. So her name is actually Carla.
Oh, my apologies.
And I called her Kayla, and I felt bad as soon as I kind of knew right away. I just didn't, it must have been the Firestone Walker Mind Haze beers talking or something. But yeah, I see her about once a year, and she's really nice. And they have a kid who has fallen on some bad luck in the
terrible
car
luck.
theft department. And yeah, that kind of sucked. But anyway, hopefully that just is something that statistically was going to happen, and it happened, and it won't happen anymore.
Yeah, his friends are going, let everything bad happen to you.
I suppose. I don't know. It's either that or, maybe he's got like the gift. And, but I choose not to think that way because I don't think that that's how the world works. But Carla, Bill, Amy, Jeff, Todd, Sheila, Kent, Sarah, Corey, the team of busboys who were on the payroll. Long story. We'll tell you about that sometime. And yeah, that's our Newt's experience.
In my mind, we were just going to have dinner, have a couple of beers, and
leave.
Yeah. Jim goes, do you want another beer? And I thought, if I have another one here, I'm going to be here all night because I'm having such a great time.
We were there for a couple hours, and, we got out when the getting was good probably, because what if there's like, you get another beer, and they're like, all right, we'll see you guys later. And then
True.
You're like sitting there with a whole beer. And I know
I hate that.
How much you struggle drinking a glass of beer. We would have been there all minute, You want to talk about the last episode? I think we're done with Newt's. Oh, other shout-outs. Jenson Creative, the makers of the Ascertainers T-shirts. We went and paid Donnie Jensen a visit at his place of business where he makes the T-shirts. He doesn't actually weave the T-shirts. He takes the T-shirts that are already made, and he does great things with them. And he was in the middle of a short notice order for like the Minnesota Cheerleader Association or something like that. He does big jobs, so we're lucky that he was able to squeeze us in. But Donnie is apparently a great friend of Mark's sister.
Yes.
Like, who knew?
Yeah, we had a great conversation, and he was kind enough. He was working his butt off.
He was.
And we showed up, but he took the time to talk to us. He's a great guy.
He's a very friendly guy. He's actually how we wound up with Jenson Creative is that my son and Donnie are good friends from way back playing music together and stuff. And, but I hope Donnie's listening. In fact, I'll just text him this, link
Please.
for this episode when it comes out. But let's face facts. Donnie was working late that night because he was taking Friday off to go fishing. Donnie's a big fisher guy. Fisher guy? Is that a thing?
A fisherman.
Did you see the thing he's taking on the ice?
I did.
It was like one of those things with like treads, like not wheels, but it was like a side-by-side that has like, what do you call those things?
Tracks.
Tracks, that's it. I think that's the name of the system. I think they make them in some city up north. Shit, I wish I remember the name of it, because they do. There's this town, and that's it. That's all the town is a big factory and like 100 houses. Carlsberg or something like that. I'll look it up. Fact check. Anyway, big shout out, Jenson Creative. If you ever have anything you want done, like promotionally, as far as like a hat, a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, can we just assume it's all types of shirts, shorts, pants, anything you can wear, maybe that's the way to put it, that you need either like embroidered, like for real, like sewing embroidery, because we saw that set up, or like just with like a what do you call this? screen print or silk screen.
Silk screen.
Something like that. Yeah, this has got like a little, whatever. It's like a fucking t-shirt that you get at a concert.
Good description.
Yeah. It's really rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It was vivid in everyone's mind.
Go to if you're thinking, oh yeah, I forgot the name, just go to TheAscertainers@gmail.com and we'll put you in touch with Donnie. And we'd love to hook him up with some business. And more importantly, we'd love to get you involved with someone who's very well regarded and has great references, including Mark and Jim. We ordered 48 shirts from him, so we're kind of made guys up there. So it's obvious that he'll take your call, drop everything, and run your order before the big corporate shit he does. So.
I do have to bring up the machine he was working that night.
Yes.
It was like the spider at Valley Fair.
It looked like a fair ride. It did. I felt like sitting on it. But that one thing looked hot. I didn't want to, burn my satchel off on that.
But it was pretty wild. I didn't know what went into T-shirt making.
And I didn't know what kind of, if it was like just a guy. He's got like a little crew and a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
Excuse me. He's got a fridge. He puts beer in it. Cool. I would rethink my fucking career if I knew that was an option. But I know he works really hard, and we appreciate him. So there's that. And then the last shout out I have is to JT Eaton Mousetraps. You may or may not hear the mousetrap story that preceded this, but if you have a mouse in the house and this isn't prepared. I'm that good.
Are you?
If you have a mouse in the house, give it a roast. No, and your mouse traps aren't effective. Your mouse traps are being prematurely sprung like a 13-year-old boy, and you don't have a mouse to show for it, meaning it didn't fucking work. Get a JT Eaton Jaws mousetrap from your local Ace Hardware store. $6.59 for a 2-pack. You're welcome. And let the slaughtering begin. Because I caught 2 mice this week where previous to this, I had mice that were just getting free meals because I'd spring the trap and then come back and get that peanut butter.
Maybe they are learning the different traps because you caught 2 in the old traps.
Those weren't mice, though. These are mouse. Those were like voles. Those were a different species.
Well, they caught rodents.
Rodents, but the ones are dumb. Remember the one would come walking out when Charlie was on. Like he wanted to talk. We should get little headphones, little mouse phones, just in case. I mean, they might have something to say.
They could.
And it wouldn't cost us a meal at Newt's. It would just cost us a little finger of peanut butter. I don't think that's the best unit of measure. How much you need? I'll try a finger. Logs were on that topic. I have some errors and omissions. For those that listen to the Bee Gees one, which, by the way, Mark and I both liked, which is rare. We universally thought, yeah, that was just very okay. And that's all we're going for is okay.
We just want to make people forget about what their troubles are or what's going on and just listen to us and think, oh, yeah, I could have a conversation with those guys.
Do you remember the old Charlie perfume? Kind of fun, kind of, wow, Charlie. Kind of. Yeah, we want that. I'll get that. I'll find that and I'll put it in the notes. I'll put a little link to the old Charlie perfume.
I don't know if I want to be associated with, I want to be like a Charlie commercial.
It's the feeling you get. Which one was the one where you could bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan? That was Anjali. I just ran the song in my head. So it's not like that perfume.
Well, how often are you wearing perfume?
That one's a little aggressive. I've never worn perfume per se that anyone can document. But as a kid, perfume ads were prevalent. And now there's no words in the perfume ad. It's just a sweaty guy.
Diving off the rocks.
Girl. Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah, that one. I know what you're talking about. Or a girl riding a horse or some shit, Oh, that used to be the douche ads would play that, but now it's perfume ads. There used to be ads for feminine products, which I didn't have any sisters or I wasn't a girl. That can be proven. And I'm like, what are these even for? And apparently my mom was using them and I didn't, wasn't like, when you're on your period, do you like to ride a horse?
a product name of that era? Or
Kotex.
what is it?
The brand?
Yeah.
Like Kotex was the thing.
I thought that was
And Tampex. So everything ended in an X. So I figured Xerox, what's that for?
anything that ended in an X was actually like a pad or something. I didn't know that was a...
I don't think the one is a pad. I think it goes up there. The Tampex one.
I was thinking about douches.
Douches.
Not that you are.
I don't know much about douches either. Don't know much about history.
The horse riding was a douche commercial.
I think that one, no, that was a mom and a daughter walking along the beach, and the daughter asking mom if sometimes she what? Doesn't feel so fresh.
Okay.
And then they have a conversation about it, and it gets better. A douche riding a horse would be like Prince Charles. That would be an example of a douche riding a horse.
Oh.
Get on that anyway. I kind of want to trace it back.
I was saying the feeling that we should get from listening to the Ascertainers.
We thought last episode, oh yeah, you were saying that you just wanted everyone to feel kind of good, kind of light. I said it reminds me of the Charlie commercial. That's
exactly.
How we got off track.
See how we can bring it around if we think? We put our thinking caps on?
See, I think from 9 to 5, man, this is after hours, so I try not to think on this thing. I want to bail Mark out a little bit. Well, first I want to talk, I have to, the most egregious thing I said is that Islands in the Stream was done by Kenny Loggins and Dolly Parton. That would be Kenny Powers. No, it's Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton. Islands in the Stream.
I was looking for Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers.
And for those who don't know that Kenny Rogers used to be a rock singer before he was a country singer, and then before his face was made out of stretched, it looked like a John Wayne Gacy's lamp. Is that the guy that used to make lamps out of his peoples?
No, that was
one of those guys.
Dahmer.
No.
Gacy just buried him in the backyard.
Who made dresses out of him? That was one of those guys.
Put the lotion on.
Yeah, but who? It wasn't Gacy. Who was the other guy?
I'm not sure.
Serial killers for 100.
Let's not get that dark. Let's just go on.
I just want to know why Kenny Rogers' face looks like that. Anyhow, if you look up, you're going to look at what the song is called. Just checked in to see what condition my condition was in. It's kind of a long one. It doesn't really fit in most search bars. But Kenny Rogers in the 5th edition or 1st edition? 1st edition. That is a banging song, and you'll do your. I'll put it in the notes.
There you go.
So the other one is that Mark said that when. Well, we'll talk about the menu in a second because I researched. I dug further. I dug in, Mark, and I can bail you out on the whole non-situation.
I don't need bailing out. I was in the right.
I certainly was in the right. But when you said that the waitress delivered our food, when I heard that, like playing it back, and I listen to it to do like the write-up of the episode, I didn't like that visual one bit. She delivered our food. I felt like there was going to be crying and like people like a baby being delivered, and that she just brought it to the table. She didn't deliver the food.
Well, what do you call DoorDash? Do they not deliver food?
I've never seen them do it. Maybe they do.
So you just don't want the visual in your head.
I had the visual of a baby being delivered. So the way you said when she delivered her food, I was like, oh, how does she do that with all those people around? No. All right, I have on my phone. I took a picture of the menu. I screenshotted the menu, and I'll see if I can attach it to the episode. But it says tacos. So this is like a headline, like of that section of the thing. It says like burgers, and it says sandwiches, and then there's all this shit behind underneath it. And this says tacos, comma, bowls, and then the
ampersand.
I don't think it's the ampersand. It's the thing that looks like the General Mills G. Non-bread. So effectively it says tacos, bowls, and non-bread. Now, Mark, I see what you're doing. And you read the next line in the little italics in this smaller print. It says tacos and non-bread served with fresh corn, blah, 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 blah. So it implies that there is non-bread with the tacos. So Lakeville Brewing Company, do better. You're misleading people by the ones. that they're going to get naan bread with their taco. They didn't even get a taco.
I
You
didn't.
got a bowl.
And you get a dirty look from the server.
What if you had ordered taco and they brought you fucking naan bread with it, but it doesn't specify bowl. Oh, then it says bowl served over jasmine rice, romaine, and black beans. So I don't know, man.
I think that is an ampersand.
That's ampersand. I thought that was the at sign. So what do you call the at sign? I know it's not the ant sign. At sign.
I don't
know.
know.
What I mean? The
I do.
looking A. Like, how do you even Google that? You're fucked.
We're bringing up
existential crises.
We're bringing up more questions than answers.
I know this is bad. Other arrows and omissions. That's all I got. I say we play the radio game real quick. Well, I'm putting. You know where I'm putting this? In that drawer. So we got a bunch of weeks where I won't have to. Oh, there's already one in there. I can't be trusted to bring my wallet down.
You're going to open up like a drawer throughout the house. Oh, that's where I put it. Yeah.
Oh, that's where I put the deed to the house. Oh, apparently this house is paid for already. Whoops. And I don't know what this is. This must be, that goes in, that's part of the $17. There's $77 in it.
Whew. Why is it odd? We had that one guess.
No, because I took $1 out when I won. Did I tell you I won? Yep. Made me do it. Because I took $1 as a trophy for winning the radio game last time with, I can't. So, I've won so many times I forget what the band was last time. First time was Billy Squire. You never forget your first. I don't remember the second one.
I don't either.
Oh, it was Styx or something.
Before you even became a winner, I was a winner. And before you became a second winner, I won with Black Sabbath.
What was your first one? You remember?
I don't, because at that point...
Has it already gotten trivial?
Yes.
All right.
I won.
Is the jukebox on?
It is.
Okay. Go first. I insist. Do you have a theme?
I don't, but I was listening to a lot of Hot House Flowers.
Never heard of them. Hot House Flowers? Please
They
don't
were
tell
good.
me you're going to say that's going to play in KQ because...
No, I'm just bringing up why I picked my other two bands.
Okay, because sometimes I think you're afraid of money.
My stories take a long time to get to the punchline, and then it's really not worth it.
How am I going to talk the whole time if you're talking? Okay, you go ahead.
But anyways, they were picked to be the next big thing in the 90s. They're an Irish band.
I'm going to take a drink, so hurry up and get your thing done. Hang on. Okay, I'm done. Okay. So, inspired by Hot House Flowers,
My not played very often, The Knack, because they were supposed to be the next Beatles.
You know my feelings about the Knack, and I know your feelings about the Knack. Are you that desperate that you'll put a band in that you are on record saying you don't like?
It got me thinking about bands that were predicted to be big, but then they just faded away.
Oh, I know the next one you're going to pick.
I don't think so, because I'm going to go with...
Start with an O?
Nope, the Talking Heads. Because I was a Grateful Dead fan, and they were going, this band's going to take over for the Grateful Dead.
Mm.
The same people who listen to the Grateful Dead will listen to Talking Heads. And I listened to Talking Heads, I said...
That's an interesting connection.
It wasn't even close.
I think the only comparison I would draw is that neither one gave a fuck what people thought.
That could be.
You know what I mean? The Talking Heads' early stuff was kind of out there, but I never really thought the Dead was out there as much as it was just kind of not my thing necessarily, but two different.
Right. And
very disparate.
I was
sounds.
with you. I didn't understand when they brought that reference up.
Well,
I heard it from more than one person.
Well, I also am fond of the Talking Heads, even though I think it's just Talking Heads. One. I went with Judas Priest because I'm cool, and because Unleashed in the East is like the best recorded live album out there, and Styx because Blue Collar Man has been in my head for some reason all week. Who are those your less thans or
less thans?
Okay, what are your mainstream ones?
Two bands that I listened to, KQCL, which is classic rock station. The first two bands I heard were Def Leppard and the Beatles. That's why I picked them.
Okay.
I always have to have a reason to pick a band.
I feel like I should pick our Head East because there's never been any reason.
Oh,
huh?
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck it. Head East and Shooting Star. Hang On for Your Life Tonight has been played on KQ in my lifetime. After further review, after initial review, I paid my sentence but committed no crime.
Queen.
And Bad Mistakes. Bling, bling. I made a few. I noticed that you sang quite a bit on the Bee Gees episode.
How'd I do?
Wonderfully. You're like the songbird of your generation, but you never remember in the early episodes, I would go, I have no idea. Sing it, hum a few bars or something, and you'd be like, oh, no way. But you get the Bee Gees involved, and you can't shut you up.
Well, people say my voice and Barry Gibb's voice are similar.
Well, you can tell from just hearing you speak that that's going to happen. Do you think?
I do.
It's obvious. Are you? Oh, there was another Bee Gee. Your last name starts with a T, so you'd be like a BT.
So I wasn't the fifth Beatle. I was the fifth Bee Gee after Andy, because he did join later on in life.
Did he?
He did. For like 3 concerts.
I wonder how you felt about all that. Hey, hello, hi. You guys ever heard me sing? I'm pretty good at it. Fuck off, Andy. You are normal looking. You will not fit in with our... You're actually attractive. We don't need... We gave it the office, pal. You could just go right over there.
Barry kind of grew into his looks.
I did see a picture of, because we were trying to figure out if Barry Gibb was still alive. Sorry, Barry Gibb, you're alive. I bet, he'll probably do a Google search, Bee Gees, let's just see what shows up. And our podcast might show up, because it's the name of the title of the podcast is Bee Gees. And if then he's like, oh, well, they didn't say anything bad about him on this one, but I better listen to the next one. So we looked him up, and it says he's married to Linda Gray since 1970. It's like, oh my. That's a long marriage. Good for you, old bear. And then I saw a picture. I go, is it that Linda Gray, the actress that I'm familiar with? I see the picture of him, and it's him. And you can't really recognize him until you see the 74 teeth he has in his smile. They have extra teeth. Like in his case, it's not like there's no way that's the proper amount of actual teeth. It's like he's got like a fucking, like those wax teeth. But like he welded a couple of them together because it's wide. It's not like long, they're wide. And it just doesn't, I'm sorry. So when you say he grew into his looks, I disagree. If he grew to 10 feet tall and 200 years old, his teeth would still be too fucking big. Sorry, Barry.
Barry,
I'm not perfect either. Barry, I have a little bit of a gut and a few chins that I'd like to get rid of. But
when you come after us, just go after the Jim part of the Ascertainers.
Just when you get a hold of Mark, just remember that song, How Deep Is Your Love, and then just fucking hammer him. And with Steely Dan's Peg playing in the background, I think that would be appropriate. Very, because that was Mark that said the stuff about your teeth. I'm Jim. And Mark is quite the trickster with the editing, because he might have made it sound like that was my voice, but that was Mark. And your teeth look terrific. You've grown into them nicely.
Sorry, Barry. We were trying to honor you last episode, and now you're just getting dragged through the mud.
I think he might want to listen to How Can I Mend a Broken Heart? Oh, the song, the Dionne Warwick song, Errors and Omissions. We didn't remember it. It's Heartbreaker. Why do you have to be a heartbreaker when all is a broken heart? Yeah, it's a song. It's a thing.
Dionne Warwick. The country song they sang.
Yeah, I did look that up. I was the way he introduced it, though, he made it sound like they wrote it but didn't perform it. But yes, and I think that Mick Sterling's band did it better than the recording I heard.
Boy, that's a tough comment to get behind because
you're gonna let it go.
I'm not, because it was something that you would never think to hear from the Bee Gees, so it throws you off when you hear it. It's actually a very good song.
I didn't say it was bad. I just thought that the studio version of it didn't do much for me, but the way when they performed it live, I thought it was...
Wow, they probably changed it because time has passed, like decades, and they could improve it.
Some time passages?
Oh, what
Sing it. That was one of your favorite songs from the 80s or whatever.
Can you see me drifting off into memories?
Is that... Is that part of the lyrics, or are you just being a freak right now?
I'm being a freak.
Roll your eyes back to the front. Jeez, it's weirding me out. Okay, go ahead.
So I was listening to Hot House Flowers, but I was also listening to the Grateful Dead quite a bit this week. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would I know Hot House Flowers?
No, but they play a cover of I Can See Clearly Now, which is phenomenal.
Which was originally sung by Jose Feliciano? Oh, he was blind, wasn't he? Shit. Who sang it? Freddie Fender?
I don't know, but...
I think it is. Oh, I saw a clip of Price is Right where a person with a wheelchair got on, and I shit you not, the fucking prize that they were trying to go for was like 3 things, and one of them was a treadmill. So, that ain't right, man. I'm sorry for all my friends that need help getting around walking. It's not your choosing. What was the song?
How many more people can we offend tonight?
Well, we're pretty close to all of them, so let's keep going. I can see. Okay, go ahead though. Johnny Nash. What'd I say?
Freddie Fender, which I knew was the crap.
He said Jose Feliciano, and then Freddie Fender.
But I was listening to The Dead, and I've heard the song before. It's "Sing Me Back Home," which is a Merle Haggard song.
Really?
That the Dead covered.
What do you think of Merle Haggard?
I do enjoy Merle Haggard. Not when I was younger.
I've never heard a Merle song I didn't like. He has he's one of the Mount Rushmore country guys, I would think. He'd have to be, it'd be pretty crowded, Mount Rushmore, but yeah, Merle had it was both a rough and sexy voice. Like it did something for the guys and for the girls at the same time. That's a pretty tough,
it is.
Tough little formula to fill. But hold on.
If you're listening to the Grateful
song
Dead,
was called what?
Sing Me Back Home.
Sing Me Back Home.
So people who don't know about the Grateful Dead, listen to that song. They did it more back in the 1970, 1971.
Well, I can't wait to hear Hot
House Flowers.
Hot House Flowers, and we'll put a link to whatever song I like best in the show notes.
But I saw a T-shirt at a Grateful Dead concert. And between 1965 and 1995, the Grateful Dead had 2,314 official shows in 30 years.
I can't even comprehend that number. That's such a big number of shows. Like if you and I sat here and just every 3 seconds put a number out. If I went 1 and then you went 2 and went 3, it would take us hours to get to 2,000, wouldn't it?
And
only there was a way if it took us a second.
And they had 450 unique songs that they've played.
Including covers and everything else?
Everything. So in 30 years, they had 450 unique songs that they played at their concerts, and they did it 2,314 times. Both those numbers, to me, are beyond impressive.
I don't know if my math is right. I'm really bad at math. So this is going to either be, probably pretty funny. So I took...
Well, divided by 60.
Well, what I did is I took 2,314 shows times 2 seconds, because it would take I think if we did it at a regular interval, to do 2 in a second is fast.
Okay.
But if we're sitting 1, 2, it would take, I think, 77 minutes, like an hour and 17 minutes to get to 2,000. Or is it 77 hours?
No,
Can't be 77 hours. Well, what if we fuck up, though? Like, was it 41 or 42? Shit, start over. 77 days later. I'm getting thirsty.
But that was just trivia that, for some reason, I looked up.
That's pretty good trivia. I can't believe you bring up the Grateful Dead so often. Really tiresome.
It is my rush.
I wasn't even going to bring them up, or Grease. So, good thing I didn't do that. Or my radio game win. I'm so mad about the radio game. It's been forever.
I'm doing the rodeo.
I don't know if that means...
Wrap it up. What would be... No, that'd be continue.
No, this is stretch. For the one time you were trying to wrap it up, and I thought you meant keep going. That was fun. All right, I got to check my list. Maybe I got some more stuff to talk about here? Who's going to the Super Bowl? We're not going to talk about it. What we maybe could have, but I think that
maybe we'll do another one.
Good night now. Thanks for listening. Alphabetically, we hope we're your top podcast. Metaphorically, we'd be happy with top 5, and spiritually, top 100.
Get a hold of us at TheAscertainers@gmail.com.
And go to our Facebook page. If you go to our Facebook page and like it or follow it or whatever the hell your options are, we'll start putting more stuff on there. Because that is, I like when we pull from hours of tape where we can pull 30 seconds that'll make you laugh.
Because that's usually only 30 seconds of any podcast that will make you laugh.
That's my point, out of many.
I was just expanding on your idea.
They don't like us fighting. And all you theys out there, you sons of bitches, have a good week.
And remember, if you text us, we do have shirts to give away.
Oh,
so
yes. And we have a list of people that have either been on the show, have contributed to the show, or are connected to the show in any way. Keep an eye out for your shirt. We'll either drop it off or mail it to you or whatever. But, yeah.
See you on the streets and we'll run up to you and put it on you. Wear it. Wear it.
We'll put it on you. And then we'll pull it off you like a hockey fight and just beat the shit out of you. And you can wipe it and we can say, keep the change.
People have seen us on the Facebook. We're going to get our asses kicked before we kick anybody.
You call it the Facebook? I love it. Didn't that guy say, just drop the? Just go with Facebook.
It's the Talking Heads.
How much longer do you think we can milk this exit?
Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, what he said.